Yeah, we're on, right? I think so. What's going on, Jeromes? Happy Monday out there, everyone, everywhere. Daily Jeromes live stream, 11 a.m. ish Central Time, Monday through Thursday, talking Vikings, free agency, the draft. Thanks very much for coming along, making us part of your day. So just trying to keep up with all the free agent stuff. It's good times. All right, so got a bunch of questions. Let's dive on in. Sio Nagona. If the Vikes end up starting Dozier again at left guard, what's your reaction? Cancel football. It's over. I'm going to be an English Premier League fan now. Go Tottenham. Lazy L, love your content. Your channel is a dream for every Vikings fan. Keep it up. Thank you, but probably not. More of like a nightmare, like a wet dream nightmare. Like you're interested, but you're also scared. That's the channel. Lazy L, do you believe we can get Turner free agency and a good guard in the draft? The latter, sure. Turner specifically, probably not. I think he eventually signs with the Bengals. But, I mean, get Forrest Lamp and you get some good interior offensive linemen. Sure, why the hell not? Jake Logavin, watching some Adrian Peterson highlights over the weekend on his 36th birthday. Could we take a moment to appreciate how dominant the runner was? Peak AP on his Zimmer. Yes. Adrian Peterson in his prime was an absolute monster, but he just wasn't cut out for the modern game, man. Like you need versatility as a modern running back unless you're Derrick Henry. And yeah, like Adrian Peterson was born 20 years too late. He was. Husker, any word on picking up at least one offensive line before the draft? Well, Forrest Lamp does have interest. I've heard that the interest is mutual, but we'll see. I mean, the Vikings are limited in cap space unless they do free up some by extending to Neal or Harrison. So TBD there. Next up, Sam Marcel just go bring back Brett Jones. He'll probably be really cheap. It would be a solid starter. Brett Jones had been getting some interest. Let's make sure that he hasn't signed anywhere. Brett Jones. Brett Jones, he is not signed anywhere. I'll bring Brett Jones back on the league minimum. Absolutely, especially the way that he started 2 games last year and played well. Malik Hooker, he's interested in Dallas, blah, blah, blah. Ryan Topper, I really believe and want him this year. He did exactly what you dream a 4th-round pick would do in year 1. He just progressively got better as the year went on. Your thoughts on him next year? I think that he could potentially mold himself into a nice starter. It might take a couple of years. I think that Weatherly in the mix to help bridge that gap. I think that Wanham and Weatherly and potentially rookie DBD, maybe even Kenny Willekes would be a nice rotation opposite of Daniil Hunter. Madden, here's one question. Would you rather the Vikings win 2 thrilling Super Bowls in your lifetime or never win a Jerome Barty till you die, then become a dynasty? Well, since I'm going to live forever, so that's a really an unanswerable question, but I'll take 2 during my lifetime because I'm greedy. Abza Abdi, Earl Thomas for safety, or did Peterson signing seal the deal? I don't think it sealed the deal, but also I don't think the Vikings have any interest in Earl Thomas. I think he's older. He's definitely not the Earl Thomas of the Seahawks days. And, I mean, talent will get you a lot of leeway, but since he doesn't really have the talent anymore, the leeway in terms of him being a weirdo, Armin 13. My plan forward would be to sign defensive end, extend Smith, sign safety, and address offensive line in the draft. Imagine Zimmer's defense, all the pieces he wants, and without rookies that have to play. I agree with everything except for, well, who can they really get for defensive end? Unless Weatherly is your guy, there's not really room if they do want to hang on to Jalen Holmes. Robert Barweiler. There seems to be a lot of local press saying that O'Neal is more likely to be moved to left tackle than Ezra. I disagree. I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what a lot of local press means, but I'm sure someone's talking about it. I would rather keep O'Neal at right tackle because it involves the least number of variables. Because you know that Brian O'Neal is a really good right tackle, and he for sure could do the job of left tackle, but Ezra has also never played a down at right tackle. Unless the plan is to keep him inside and then play Oli Udoh at right tackle, sure. You do have to factor in cost as well, as Brian O'Neal is on the precipice of being paid. That's not the be-all, end-all, but that does factor in. But instead of playing like Yankee swap and playing musical chairs again, and also, this isn't like the Lawrence Taylor days where left tackle is premium. A lot of the NFL's best edge rushers rush from the left side of the formation. Look at Von Miller. Look at Daniil Hunter. Look at What was Mac? Let's see. Mac and Quinn rotate about. Yeah. I'm talking about like Cam Jordan too. So you need a good pass blocking right tackle too. Like again, this is not 30 years ago, right? And so the value gap between left tackle right tackle is certainly closing. I think Ezra Cleveland could be that left tackle of the future. Ryan Topper. I saw somewhere that the O-line plan was Orlando Brown, Udo, or rookie, and then Brad Way to get Orlando Brown without cutting off your nose. Yes, sure, go ahead. Josh Williams. Now that the number 23 jersey is available, I'd love to see the Vikings take Patrick Surtain at 14 and let him rock his dad's number. Trade up for offensive lineman early second. If it worked out that way, sure. But if Darrisaw or Slater is there at 14, just take him. I mean, let's not overthink things. Maybe even AVT. I'm warming up to the idea. Ben Bauman, is it time for the Vikings to finally give Brock Lesnar a second chance? Keep up the good work, Andy Skull. Brock Lesnar's like 40. Plus, he's like made of steroids. So, nah. Well, the problem was that he played too tall. Like, he didn't play with enough leverage that you would like, which is kind of weird for a wrestler. New strategy. But the UFC needs to get him back. Like, I understand the UFC is down with all the USADA stuff now. He needs a waiver. Like, get Brock Lesnar a waiver and just get him back in there. Like, could you imagine a Brock Lesnar John Jones fight right now? I mean, come on. New strategy. I sense a permanent 3-4-D is coming with the addition of defense tackle. Thoughts on Bar Hunter on outside linebacker, Kendricks Dye at middle linebacker. Maybe some mix up on the fronts. I think specifically like if they run like a 3-3-5 nickel, sure, but a permanent move to 3-4, nah. Spartus. Thoughts on possibly drafting Landon Dickerson or Creed Humphrey to take over at center while moving Bradbury to guard. I don't know if they would do that right away. I think that they would give Dickerson or Humphrey or say Josh Myers or Drake Jackson a shot at guard and give Bradbury one more year at center. But I am definitely down for the idea of drafting Dickerson as well as Humphrey. Rohan Kumar. I don't think we can go BPA in the draft. Yes, we can. Not going BPA in the draft. Drafting for need keeps you drafting for need. But luckily, the way that the board is shaping up, I mean, the top player on the board might be an offensive lineman. There you go. Pulford Skull. Andy, you should do a mock where every time you get a trade offer, you have to accept. Yeah, sure. Griffin Creer. Would you rather draft Devontae Smith at 14 or Darrisaw? Darrisaw. And this is not a knock on Devontae Smith. This is more a propping up of how much I love Christian Darrisaw. I do. Tristan D. If the Vikings miss the playoffs or go one and done playoffs next season, do you think that's it for Zimmer and Spielman? Yes. Yeah, I think it. They need to make significant headway in the playoffs because this is a very good football team. You know, despite what happened in 2020, this is a damn good team. Rowan Anapati. Rank the 5 areas of need for the Vikings after free agency other than guard. So other than guard, offensive tackle. We'll go safety. Safety, linebacker, even though Vigil's there, Barr's on a 1-year deal. Defensive end, safety, defensive end, linebacker, wide receiver, tackle. Ryan O'Sullivan, I heard that Wyatt Davis is not really injured anymore. Is that true, or do you think he would have to be redshirted? I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised given how severe his injury was in the playoffs. Plus, he had a lingering knee injury throughout the season. So I would be pleasantly surprised, but it would be a surprise. Amaya Deshpande. Broncos have been mocked cornerback and Giants have been mocked wide receiver pretty frequently. Do you think that changes with the Golladay and Fuller signings? With the Golladay signing, yes, for the Giants. Fuller was on a 1-year deal with the Broncos. So if Caleb Farley's there for the Broncos at 9, I think they take him unless they go quarterback. Anapati. Which guards, interior offensive line in the draft, are an immediate day one upgrade over Oli Udoh? Well, that's the problem is that we don't know how good Oli Udoh can be, but I think just theoretically, given the choice between spending a draft pick on this player or starting Oli Udoh at one of the guard spots, I would go Mayfield over Udoh. I would go AVT. I would go Dickerson. I would go Wyatt Davis if he can start day one. I would go Creed. I would go Trey Smith. And then it gets really close. So then you get into like the Jackson Carmens and Ben Clevelands and Deontay Browns and Kendrick Greens and Drake Jacksons of the world. So then it gets close. Angel Durzit Sr. Wish we would have snagged Keanu Neal. Your thoughts? 1 year, $5 million. They could have scraped that together. Shoot. Jens Harold Claudius. What do you realistically the Vikings will do up until the draft? Any more cuts or signings? I think they'll work on an extension for Harrison and Daniil. I think maybe they'll sign one free agent if they can squeeze it under the $2.2 million in effective cap space. Sure. Joshua Laurie. Is Spielman whiffing with guards and free agency, or do you think he has some sort of master plan for the draft instead? Why no steam on Turner and Blythe? I don't know. I think this might be a weird free agent year where a lot of guys. Now, every single year, there's a handful of guys who are picked up after the draft, but I think there might be a lot of really decent free agents that are just chilling out there until after the draft because of the down cap year. Like, it wouldn't shock me if, well, Turner to a degree, but if a guy like Austin Blythe or Forrest Lamp or Dan Feeney or whoever is still not signed until after the draft. DG. Do you think we could take the Chargers' leftover TV dinners and Forrest Lamp and Trey Turner and turn them into 96-ounce steak beasts? Turner, I think he is too good to have 2020 define him, so I would be down with him. Forrest Lamp, I love forever, and if he could just stay healthy, I think he's got a shot. Miles, how good will the defense be now that they got Dalvin and Patrick Peterson? Extremely good. Like, they were going to be good anyway with just Daniil back and Barr and Kendricks healthy and Pierce here for the first time. But now, Super Bowl. Samson Romaine, I'm 99% sure, but should the Vikings think about taking a shot on Zay Wilson? No. I was fine with him, with the Vikings potentially being interested if and when the Titans did cut him, but the Dolphins traded for him and they gave up on him after like a week. Like, he missed meetings and workouts. Like, how do you do that? Like, you get a second chance in the NFL and you just blow it off. So there might not be any saving this kid. So I think that he might be done. Gilbert Ochoa, 4 snaps for a first round pick. If the Vikings make the playoffs and win one game, does Zimmer and Rick keep their job, or will it take 2 or 3? I think it'll take at least 2. Well, depending on what that one game is. So if it's a divisional round, then they get to the NFC title game, maybe. But if it's just a wild card win, no. Myra, 64. Rank your top 10 quarterbacks for next season. Ugh. So I don't know if Watson's going to play. So I'm actually going to leave him out of the top 10. I'll go Mahomes. Josh Allen, Lamar, Kirk, Dak, Russ, the octogenarian Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I want to put any rookies in there. Maybe not quite yet. Man, it's tough. It's tough the rest of the way. Because there's like, what do you do? Put in Derek Carr or Carson Wentz? It gets tough really quick. I'm not even going to put Stafford in there because screw him. Put Brady. I think Matt Ryan with Smith will rebound his career for a little bit. Nah, it's close enough. OTM Snipes. I think it's Oli Udo time. I think he has the best anchor. Thoughts? Right guard? Sure. Sam Purcell, just Skull. How much money can we free up by restructuring Kendricks? That's a good looking question. Spot Rock, Kendricks. I am Eric Kendricks Lamar. All right, so the Vikings have already restructured Kendricks once. So the Vikings can shave this down to about 1 million. So 1 million. So 7.15 million divided by 3. And let's check that out. 0.15 divided by 3 times 2. So the Vikings could free up about just shy of $5 million if they restructured him, like bare bones all the way down to league minimum. Yeah. Next up, Ben Askren by KO. What'd you spend your most recent stimulus check on? Up some crazy prop bet. Skull from Arizona. Skull. So I did not qualify for a stimulus check. Humble brag. Sick brag, bro. But if you did get one, instead of spending it on something dumb, like I know a lot of people are going to do it, put it away. Like definitely use it to, if you got some debt, if you got like a car loan, if you got a credit card, definitely try and pay those off. Yeah, but don't spend on something stupid like, a pair of shoes, even though I should talk on shoes, right? But yeah, don't put it in Bitcoin, or don't put it all in Bitcoin. Let's say that, where it's very fun to speculate, but don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Like, don't buy NFTs, or don't put all of your money in NFTs. It's okay to speculate and dabble, but don't be banking on that for your future. But yeah, put it away. Put it something boring. Put in like a mutual fund. Put it in an S&P account. Put it in a scattershot over a dozen stocks, and then don't touch it ever. So yeah, I think this can be an opportunity to really kickstart some of your financial goals. Like, as long as you got food, water, shelter taken care of, just go ahead and do that. But yeah, don't do something stupid. Like, don't buy like a ferret. I mean, who the hell's gonna buy a ferret? Guy here. Hey, let us know where you're watching from. We'll give a couple shout outs. Next up, Derek Baker. Which offensive linemen in the draft are definitely good enough to be effective day one starters with having no offseason training camp? Which offensive draft? All the ones we listed above, and then add in Darisaw, Slater, and Penei Sewell. I would... Radins and Cosby, maybe. But Radins, that's a big step up in competition, man. Next up, Miles. How good will the offense be if they fix the guard problem? One of the best in the league, top 5. Chris Danny Hansen, names for Pierce and Tomlinson duo: Purple Diesel, Diesel Power, Diesel Stuffers, Purple Mountain. I think Purple Mountain is slang for something. You might want to Urban Dictionary that. Purple Soul Crushers, Purple People Crushers. Thoughts? Nah, we can do better. I like them, though. All good things in all good time. Tell us in Lahaina Town, what's up with Hercules? I think Herc did great last year. I think he had 3.5 sacks in limited duty. But using him inside and outside on passing downs, great. I don't think he'll ever be a 3-down player, but I think that he can certainly add value as a platoon pass rusher. Love Hercules. Mizell Rivera, will the Vikings go for a safety and free agency, or do you think they might try the luck in the draft? I think they'll do both. I think they'll eventually sign Will Parks, maybe even after June 1st, after the Rudy cap clears up. And I think they should partake in this draft, especially in the mid rounds. That's where the sweet meat is going to be in the safety draft. A couple shout outs. Duke the Bang Yang Skull from St. Paul. What's going on? Sam Marcel into Skull. Austria. Madden. What up? Mike Benham, Grand Rapids. Madden's from Dallas. Viking Man, Pasadena, California. What's going on? Purple Rain, Wausau, Wisconsin. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Making us part of your day. Next up. Where are we? Oh, Ivo. Chance the Vikings bring back AP for running back 3? No. I don't think it's going to happen. Blake Horror. What do you think of the Vikings trade for Wyatt Teller? All in, man. I don't care what it costs. It might cost 14 and some change. Wyatt Teller's a bad mother. I loved him in Buffalo. I loved him with Virginia Tech, so sure. R.L. Mar. Do you think it's more likely the Vikings have a top 5 offense or top 5 defense? Blah, blah, blah. I think it's more offense, but I don't think you're that far off on defense with all the additions and guys coming back. Zigo Lockhart, number 1, do you enjoy NHL fights? Who doesn't? 2, favorite color? Mine is green. Whatever color money is. So it's not like green, but it's green. It's like green and cream. Andy Shong, would you rather see the Vikings have an elite offense with an average defense? Yes. Average defense in terms of decent against the run and can get pass rush in certain situations. Yes, I will take that. Ted Schiefen. Mike Renner at PFF has Wyatt Davis falling to the Vikes in 90 overall. Injury concerns of what? I don't think he falls that far. Like, even if he's dinged up, I don't think he gets out of the second round. But hell, I'll take it. But again, it's PFF, so they're going to downgrade running backs. They're going to downgrade interior offensive linemen. So that's whatever. John Anderson TV. Zimmer should be fired if he doesn't make the Super Bowl. Agree. Also, do you have a favorite for a new head coach and general manager? So George Payton. No. I would go Bieniemy. And Thomas Dimitroff. I think a year away, like Thomas Dimitroff assembled a really good Atlanta squad. They just could not close. I think that's much more on coaching, but then again, he picked the coaches. Atso Mikkonen. Mike Renner mock draft. Darisaw, Onwuzurike, Wyatt Davis. Darisaw, yes. I don't think Onwuzurike makes it 78. I definitely don't think Wyatt Davis makes it 90. But other than that, I'm in. Athena Smith. Okay, so in your opinion, if the Vikings have a good draft and fill positions of guard, safety, blah, 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 are they real contenders? Yes, absolutely. Abby, do you drink Red Bull? Nah. I used to when I was younger, but as you get older, you start to figure out there's like, oh, maybe all that sugar is not good. Maybe all that caffeine is not good. So I've actually cut down caffeine to 1 cup of coffee a day right in the morning. And I found out that most of the time I don't even drink all of it. Like I'll drink half of it just to, kickstart things. But it's just so weird because I used to drink like 5 or 6 cups of coffee a day. But then, I started tracking stuff and started doing, self-imposed sleep studies and it wasn't great. It wasn't good. So just cutting back on caffeine and definitely that sugar. Even though sugar-free Red Bull now and then, nice. Actually, no, with what is it? The sugar-free, the Mountain Dew energy drink. I forget what it's called. It's not like the Live Wire or what. Well, now I got to find out. Let's see, Mountain Dew. Because it's so funny, the energy drink market just took off. Where, I mean, when I was a kid, the energy drink was Mountain Dew. God, what did they discontinue it? Because it's not the Kickstart, it's not the Gamer Fuel, it's not because maybe they did. I guess it's been a while. Oh no, Amp, that's what it's called. Do they still make those? Oh, yeah, there you go. Mountain Dew Amp. Yeah, those are good. I think they still make them. Do they still make Orange Mountain Dew? That was good. Well, no, sorry, that's been folded into Livewire. What am I talking about? Next up, Eric Manchufel. Higher priority in the draft, BPA at 14 and 2 guards in rounds 3 or 4. Shift Ezra left tackle or tackle at 14. Compete with Ezra. It depends. If Darisaw or Slater are on board, that's a really tough decision. But I like the first plan. Given the composition of how the interior offensive linemen are structured in this draft. So you could go, maybe it's Devontae Smith, maybe it's Kyle Pitts. I don't need a tight end. Yes, you do. If his name is Kyle Pitts, yes, you do. So BPA, and then rounds 3 and 4, you get Ben Cleveland, Kendrick Green, or you get Josh Myers, Trey Smith, Josh Myers. I'll be okay with that. Quentin Maynard's went from no one knew who he was to overhyped, and now I think it's starting to settle. I think Maynard's probably goes in the 3rd round. John's Harold Claudius. What do you think of the Vikings logo? I'm fine with it. I know that. So, like a couple of years ago, it was always like, here's NFL logos as hipsters or whatever. Like that was a big fad. But I always like the Vikings logo. I feel like it's classic. I don't really think it needs an upgrade. I know that fans do a lot of like reimagined logos, and some of them are cool. Well, the jersey ones are like, oh, here's a Vikings jerseys as black. It's like, yeah. It always goes all white or all black. I don't know what it is. I could do that. KC Wall, favorite place to get a Reuben? I don't know, but Reubens are good, man. So I will say that. So I will always go Reuben with the corned beef, but like a really well done Rachel. So basically a Reuben, but with turkey is really well done. There's this place in Rochester called Beatles. I think it's still open, where they would freshly roast turkeys every single day. They would use them on like their club sandwiches. They would do turkey dinners at dinner time. So it was really good. And they would make this amazing like triple decker. It was almost like a club sandwich and a Reuben. So you had the thick cut pumpernickel bread and marble rye. It's one of the two. Might have been marble rye. And then you had the sauerkraut. You had that fresh roasted turkey. And they would even include the skin on it. So it was like, oh, Thanksgiving all up in this mother father. Then Thousand Island dressing. Get some. Get some. And then add more pickling. Just had those kosher slices of like Vlasic pickles. Or what's the brand name? It's not Vlasic. No, it's not it either. It's the brand of pickles that are in the refrigerated section. Get some. Eric Nelson. Do you think the plan is to try and land a top offensive line in the draft? Yes. Yeah. Rodrigo Campos. How much money do you think is fair value for Daniil's new contract? I would say $20 million per year, but with some injury clauses and guarantees in there. I think that both sides can win here. Where Daniil gets his contract freshened up, it isn't top tier of the market. The Vikings still protect themselves in case Daniil isn't Daniil, even though I'm certain that he is. I think everyone wins. I think that eventually they will find a nice compromise there. But that's it. That is the Daily Jerome's live stream. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming along. Subscribe. We got a lot of Vikings content coming out today. Talk to you tomorrow. Skull, production value.